So up until very recently, the main feature that JBL's portable Bluetooth speakers have been missing is an adjustable EQ. But as of more recently, it looks like JBL is adding an adjustable EQ to some of their portable Bluetooth speakers, and they even went ahead and updated their Partybox app. So today we are going to break down which of these JBL portable Bluetooth speakers are going to be getting this new EQ feature, and we're also going to check out the new Partybox app. So first, let's break down which of these JBL speakers are going to be getting this new EQ feature. As of March 2022, you can have an adjustable EQ on either the JBL Flip 6, the JBL Charge 5, or the JBL Xtreme 3. Basically, any of the JBL speakers with the new large JBL logo on the front are going to be getting this new EQ feature. Because unfortunately, the Flip 5, Charge 4, and Xtreme 2, none of these speakers have gotten this new EQ feature from our update. And I do feel that this is unfortunate because the Flip 5, Charge 4, and Xtreme 2 are all still decent speakers for 2022. And I especially think the Flip 5 is still a great speaker to pick up, given that it's still using JBL's Party Boost. And I also got to point out that both the Boombox 2 and Pulse 4 don't have an adjustable EQ, and I doubt that they'll be getting this feature through a firmware update in the future as well. However, I do expect that the upcoming JBL Boombox 3 and JBL Pulse 5 are going to have an adjustable EQ right out of the box, and we can expect these new speakers for the spring and summer of 2022. And I do have to call JBL out on this. It kind of looks like JBL is just saving their new customizable EQ feature for their newer speakers to help compel you to upgrade. And I do think that this is a little shady on JBL's part, especially because there's really no reason why any of JBL's older speakers couldn't have a customizable EQ. But at least this is better than when JBL rolled out a new speaker pairing protocol when they released the Flip 5, which went from using JBL Connect Plus to JBL Party Boost, effectively making any speaker that came out before the Flip 5 basically obsolete. So now that these speakers do have a customizable EQ, here's how I like to set them. When we went from the Xtreme 2 to the Xtreme 3, I noticed that the Xtreme 3 had a much brighter sound signature than the Xtreme 2. And overall, I did prefer how the Xtreme 2 sounded over the Xtreme 3. But now that the Xtreme 3 has a customizable EQ, I like to raise the bass 2 clicks, I leave the mids as is, but I lower the treble on this speaker by 1 click. So now this will make the Xtreme 3 sound more similar to the Xtreme 2, and it's going to have a little more bass as well. Then there's the Flip 6. The Flip 6 also has a brighter sound signature than the Flip 5. And I think that part of the reason the Flip 6 has a brighter sound signature than the Flip 5 is because the Flip 6 has an additional tweeter, which just isn't found on the Flip 5. But for the Flip 6, I like to raise the bass by 1 click, I keep the mids as is, and I lower the treble by 1 click as well. And finally, there's the Charge 5, which has a very similar speaker setup to the Flip 6, except just a little bigger. There's a front-firing woofer, a front-firing tweeter, and then you got your dual passive radiators shooting out the sides. And I think JBL got this one completely right out of the box. So personally, I just use this speaker with its stock EQ, but if you want, you can always go in and raise the bass on the speaker a little bit. But overall, this is my preferred speaker to use while I'm working in my studio. And there you have it. These are the JBL speakers that have gotten a customizable EQ, and these are the EQ settings that I like to use with these speakers. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like JBL's older speakers are going to be getting this customizable EQ. So if your JBL speaker has the old design with the orange logo on the front, I wouldn't expect your speaker to get this new customizable EQ feature. However, I do expect all of JBL's newer speakers going forward are going to have a customizable EQ right out of the box. But now let's quickly adjust JBL's new Partybox app. Now, for the most part, this is really just a cosmetic change. And personally, I do prefer the design of the older app compared to this one. Now, keep in mind, this app is only compatible with JBL's newer Partybox speakers, like either the 710, 310, 110, and the upcoming Partybox Encore. Unfortunately, this app is not compatible with any of JBL's older Partybox speakers, like either the 300, 200, 100, or the Partybox on the go. Now, from a feature standpoint, this app is relatively unchanged. You can cycle between your different lighting modes, you can customize the color of your light feature, and you can activate or deactivate different portions of your light feature. The only noticeable difference here has to do with the 710 and 110. With both the 710 and 110, there is this dial that you can rotate to cycle between your different lighting modes, whereas the 310 simply has a button. But from this redesigned app, you can now deactivate the lighting modes that you want to remove from the cycle on either the 710 or 110. But oddly enough, you can't do this with the 310. And I feel that you should be able to. Another minor change is that JBL has formally named their different bass modes. They're now called Deep and Punchy, and I guess this is better than what I used to call them as Bass Level 1 and Bass Level 2. Now, personally, I do prefer to use Deep on both the 310 and 110, but besides that, there are no major changes to point out here. Everything is still as is, except there's a new, dark, and simpler design to this app. Unfortunately, unlike JBL's newer Party Boost speakers, which have recently gotten an adjustable EQ through a firmware update, unfortunately, none of these party boxes have gotten this adjustable EQ. But perhaps sometime in the future, these party boxes will get an adjustable EQ, because it looks like JBL is more open to the idea now than they were in the past. However, I do want to make something perfectly clear. Even though you can adjust the bass, treble, and echo on any microphone that you might have plugged into your Partybox, these EQ adjustments will only affect your microphone, not your music. But overall, this app redesign is mostly just cosmetic. Unfortunately, there are no new notable features to point out here, like an adjustable EQ like the Party Boost speakers got. And unfortunately, there have been no firmware updates that will allow more than 2 Partybox speakers to be paired up together, which personally I do feel is something JBL should really work on, given that they do Party Boost on their more portable speakers very well. But at the end of the day, I am grateful to have this app because JBL's older Partybox speakers don't connect to this app. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know, I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something that I'm really proud of.